A good Tuesday morning, 3 minutes past 10 o'clock. We're already up to 77 degrees at the KRIM studios on West Frontier in Payson. This morning on KRIM's Community Spotlight, going to be talking a little bit about the Missoula Children's Theater. They have a special presentation coming up here on Saturday the 28th at the high school. And to tell you a little bit more about it, we have with us Elizabeth Fowler, once again with us in the studio this morning, along with a couple of students from Payson High School, Cody and Ashland, with us this morning. And first of all, thanks to all three of you for coming down and spending a few minutes with us. We appreciate it. Now, Elizabeth, first of all, how long have you been involved with the Missoula Children's Theater?
9 years. This is our 9th year having Missoula Children's Theater come to Payson.
Right. And they do this all over the country.
They do it in 50 states and 16 countries.
Wow. And is the idea just to give kids a theatrical experience as far as being involved in a play? And I mean, is that the ultimate goal, or what?
There's a lot of joy to be had in it, but
sure.
The experience for sure, the love of it, the enthusiasm of bringing the family together, the community and support, and it's also very character building. To pull off a musical from scratch in a week, and the discipline is
it always a musical?
Uplifting. It's always a musical.
Oh wow!
And it's always done in a week with 2 directors.
So I mean, again, you decide who the various actors are, and they get their parts and they rehearse them up, and all of this comes together in 1 week.
And the beauty of it is I have nothing to do with any of that. The 2 very professional Missoula Children's Theater staff members, we call them directors,
right.
They come into town with a little red truck, literally, with the entire set and costumes in it. They travel by truck. I don't know how they get to Hawaii.
Must use some really wide tires or something.
and they do everything, and they have student directors help.
Right.
So it's very hands off, and they perform magic, and the kids really like it.
And there's so much to be said for what you can learn through these kind of experiences, and to try and get a little bit more of a finger on the pulse of that. I want to talk with our 2 students, Cody and Ashland. And Ashland, ask you to begin with. This is not. Gosh, I guess this last weekend.
Your first rodeo.
This ain't your first rodeo then. You've done this before.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Now, how many of these plays have you been involved with?
Since I think the first one was Blackbeard, right?
Oh wow.
So the first one that have.
You're talking like 8 years?
About.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so wow, this really isn't your first rodeo.
No.
Well, and how about you, Cody? Have you done these before too?
Yeah, I've been doing it for 7 years because my first one was Rapunzel.
Rapunzel, wow, all right. And she let her hair down, right?
Yeah.
All right, gotta love that. That's one little part I remember of that story. So what's your motivation, Cody? I mean, why do you want to do this?
Well, I believe that when I was younger, I really enjoyed it, and especially as I'm getting older, I want to keep that joy, especially for the younger kids, because I remember how much fun I had with it, and
right.
I really like getting the next generation into drama in general.
Cody, you're a freshman. Freshmen don't speak with that kind of wisdom. What are you thinking?
I agree.
I think that the majority of the roles are younger, and I just want to pass it on.
I think that's absolutely beautiful, and I don't mean to make light of your comment, but I was rather taken aback by. I mean, that shows a lot of insight. That's pretty good. Now, Ashlyn, how about you? What's your motivation? Why did you want to? And not only why did you want to be involved to begin with, but obviously you're still involved 8 years later.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I've been involved with it forever, and I have loved theater since I was like a small child,
right.
Because my family was very involved with kind of theatrical sort of things. So I've always loved, being on stage and be able to portray a character that I wouldn't normally portray in my normal day-to-day life.
Yeah, so I mean a whole different personality, different character traits than what you actually have. So you get a chance to kind of step outside yourself a little bit.
I love having the knowledge and the ability to come out there and know that I've already done something like this, so I can teach the younger children that theater is something that you definitely can express yourself and have some fun with,
right.
And that it's just so important that you need to be involved,
right.
especially at an early age, so that as you grow up, just like, I've learned that it's just going to get easier and easier to be able to step out of your comfort zone
Right.
and do something like this that you completely enjoy doing without the fear of like anybody else.
And therein lies kind of where I'm headed with my questions here for you both, because myself, as a young kid, getting up on stage, I would just be absolutely petrified. And then I did it a few times, and then after a while, I wasn't nearly as petrified. Now people can't shut me up. What was it like, Cody? What was it like for you the first time you got on stage? Were you pretty nervous?
Yeah, I think the first time I was pretty nervous because I think for one it was just a new thing.
Right.
But as you said, as I kept doing it, I got more and more comfortable on stage and I started enjoying it more.
Right.
And as Ashlyn said, it's a great way to express yourself.
Yeah, very cool. Now, and is acting something that you want to get into more as you go along, as you get older?
Yeah, I think I definitely want to pursue acting.
Really?
Whether it's as something on the side, but
Right.
preferably something.
Cool. So we'll maybe see you on the silver screen here one of these days or something. I like that. Now, Ashlyn, when it comes to your very first experience, I mean, was it a little nerve-wracking to begin with?
So my first experience on stage, I couldn't read. Like I was that young that I couldn't read. So my family actually had to read me the script, and I would memorize it from there. So
Wow.
Yeah.
What an interesting extra twist that would give to the whole thing.
Definitely. So it's something that I've definitely grown up with and have become more comfortable with because I've been doing it since before I could read, really.
Well, and I would imagine too that again, looking back at the earlier experiences, it's probably a lot easier now to get to really play the part and take on the role, get the voice inflection just exactly like you wanted and all of that than maybe it was to begin with.
Definitely.
I'm actually just astounded by these two high school kids here, Cody and Ashlyn. Elizabeth, it's got to be really gratifying for you to be helping with this, just to see. We talk lightly about how the extra confidence that you gain from getting up on stage. We make it sound like it's just a piece of cake, and it's not a piece of cake. But yet, the Missoula Children's Theater folks help make this all, fun and a lot of fun for the kids, but also putting on a great show for everybody that comes to watch it. But for you, it's got to be really gratifying to be involved and just see all of this unfolding.
It is truly, and to hear Ashlyn and Cody speak just now, that's what it's all about.
Right, and those are, I mean, even if you weren't going on to a future in theater or acting or whatever, just the self-confidence that you gain from having gotten up on stage, then when you have to maybe get up in the corporate boardroom and make a presentation, you're not quite so stifled.
Or work with any other team members, because it's very much about taking your turn and working with others. It's definitely teamwork, and it's respect for other people and yourself.
Mhm.
And I have to give a lot of credit to Kathy Seiler at the high school
She's amazing.
for her program, which carries all these qualities of helpful growth for people, not just actors, throughout the school year.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos.
Yeah.
Kudos to those teachers who do that for these kids.
Kathy's been amazing for a lot of years. Her late
With these
husband
kids.
too was just a real inspiration to me. I mean, they have their heart and their
John.
head in the right place.
Yes, they do, and so do these kids. I'm very actually I've never even had the chance to meet these two before, so I feel really grateful for this opportunity.
Now, Ashlyn, are you planning on continuing in theater, or what's your ultimate goal here? I mean, you're a senior, so where do you go next?
I would love to go to a performing arts school
Right.
and become an actor.
Right.
That's my long-term dream.
Very cool. And stick with that. Dream until your dreams come true. Don't let that go. What? So if you could be given the ultimate part that you've always wanted to play, what would that part be?
Well, I know that I'm a bit old for it, but I've always wanted to play Annie.
Oh, there you go. That would be interesting. I bet you do really well with that.
I hope so.
You both just exude confidence, and that's something that even in a high school student, I don't think you typically see at that age, or at least At least none of the kids I hung out with in high school did anyway, but that's another issue. So how about you, Cody? When it comes to, if is there one particular part out there that you've always thought, man, that's a part I'd like to play?
I don't know. Probably I'd have to go with. I'm a little young, but the Broadway show Hamilton. Somebody from
Really?
Hamilton.
You keep blowing my mind, kid. I tell you, this, hats off to your parents wherever they are. They definitely have done something right here. The whole experience, though, when it comes to now that you've both been at this for a number of years, I would assume, Cody, that it's kind of now it's instead of being maybe a little bit on the spooky side, now it's just kind of a fun challenge to, okay, give me a part and let me see if I can tackle this.
Yeah, I think in a way it's almost fast paced because it's just show after show. It's like a very big deal on the spectrum that it's super fun,
Right.
but it's kind of just taking you away with it. Like you just keep going and doing show after show, getting
Right.
all these different parts.
And Ashlyn, what about you? I mean, all of this comes around in 1 week. I mean, here's your part, here's your costume, get up on stage and do it. I'm sure that's not how they present it to you, but I mean, that's basically kind of the bottom line, right?
Yeah, so it does take a lot of discipline, and that you have to like learn each new part and then become that role. Like something that I've learned over the years is that to make it more interesting or more fun, you add like some sort of accent to it, or you add something that you thought like, hey, I wish that I would have done that in the previous show. So then you remember that, and then you like add it to the role, and that just makes it 10 times better because you really become that role,
Right.
and you stick with it, and it helps along the way.
Yeah. And so there's that's neat though, because it also gives you the capability to do a little improvisational work once in a while, just to really carry out that role. And I bet you'll learn a lot from that as well. Very cool. So Elizabeth, what all do you actually do when it comes? I mean, this whole thing coming together in 1 week. Obviously, there's a lot of moving parts to that whole equation.
Well, it's really just getting the word out to the newspapers and
Right.
radio stations that we're coming.
Right.
We do the parade.
Ah.
We
You were in the parade this last weekend?
yes.
I
every year.
was too. That's why I didn't see you. I
Every
only
year.
saw the people right in front and right behind me. That was it.
Yeah, we always represent in the parade, and we schedule our play to coincide with the beginning of the year, the end of the summer tour for Missoula Children's Theater and the rodeo parade. So it works out great. And then we have wonderful sponsors that I go and solicit help from, because this program carries itself. We accept Arizona tax credit for kids, and I have to give a shout out to our sponsors, which is Steve Miller Auto and Plant Fair and Kristen Wade's Premier Dental and Iron Horse Signs.
And,
They've always helped us.
And we hear about all of those businesses always helping so many different things.
They
And
do.
I mean, they're pillars of the community. When it comes to putting something like this together, I mean, there are hard costs involved in this, and so the sponsorship is paramount, really.
It is paramount, but really the full amount of most of the money comes through ticket sales.
Right.
So we want to have an audience there to cheer the kids on. It's very exciting to have a good audience, and it brings the money in. And then sometimes people just give extra money more than the tickets, which is very simple.
So you don't discourage that?
No. and,
Okay.
and we run completely independently of the high school or any other program. It's just all the funds for Missoula's Day with the next year's
Right.
productions.
Wow. And again, there's going to be two productions or two performances, one at 4 p.m. and one at 6:30 p.m. and they're all coming up on Saturday, the 20th. It's this Saturday.
Yes,
Okay, so
high school auditorium.
High School Auditorium, again, 4 o'clock and 6:30 on Saturday. So right now, just plan on canceling anything else you had going on
That's
Saturday,
right.
because it's not nearly as important as getting to the High School Auditorium and watching Missoula Children's Theater. And what is it you're performing this year?
We're performing Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty. All right.
You're talking to the queen herself.
Oh, the evil queen?
No.
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
wish.
Oh,
That would be so much
So
fun.
you're the Sleeping Beauty.
No.
No.
I'm her mother.
Oh, you're okay. So it's been so long since I've read this story, I could lose track.
And Cody, you are.
I am the troll, or a troll.
You're a troll. A very intelligent troll in the makeup this year. Now so when it comes to taking on different parts, Ashlyn, I got to come back to you're playing the part of the mother. So obviously, it's not a real evil role like but you said you'd kind of like to take on the evil role, but we'll let that go for later. Now, when did you find out what part you were going to be playing?
I found out last night.
Last night, and so Monday night you find out the part you're going to be playing, and Saturday night, Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening you perform that part.
Yes.
No pressure.
Very little.
Obviously, you all gained a lot of confidence from doing this, and that's great. Now, Cody, how about you? Did you just learn your part last night too?
Yes, I learned at the same time.
Were you pretty excited about being a troll?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited just to be in the show. It's a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
That sounds like a kick. And we need to get everybody out there to watch this. The high school auditorium seats just under 1,000, so that's why you have two performances, so we can get at least a couple of thousand people.
There
out
you go.
Right? And we hope that you will get there. What's the cost of the tickets?
Oh, I don't have that in my head.
It's a nominal fee, whatever
It's
it is.
I think it's $5 for students. Do you know? I know there's pre-sale tickets at the Chamber and at $260. I think it's sorry people.
That's all good.
It's in the paper. Check your paper.
There you go. So
I sent it to the paper.
at the-
I think it's a $6 and $7 pre-sale for adults. Seniors are the $6, and then at the door at the box office it's $7 and $8.
So slightly higher if you buy them
Only
at the door,
$1.
but you can stop by the Rim Country Regional Chamber of Commerce at the corner of Main and Beeline and get your tickets there and save a few bucks, or at the 260 Cafe.
Yes, or you can get them through the high school bookshop, and you can
okay.
pay online for them.
So you can even get it to the bookstore. But if you do go out to the 260 Cafe to get your tickets there, feel free to pick up some pie and bring it by the KRIM studios here on West Frontier. We'll be more than happy to take care of that for you. Now, sorry, cheesy plug. As far as trolls go, is this one of the more demanding roles that you've had, or is this one of the lesser demanding roles?
I don't know. Last year, that was last year, year before last year, I forgot about COVID. I was Jack, which is a bit more demanding, but I'm gonna put a lot into the troll.
Jack in the Beanstalk?
Yes.
Oh wow! So you don't have to, you're not climbing anything in this.
No.
Okay, cool. As far as the mother, I mean, are you reoccurring throughout the play, or I mean, how extensively are you on stage?
I'm not much on stage in the beginning of the play, but I am. Nope, that's a lie. At the birth of Aurora, then.
It's pretty important for the mother to be there for that. Yeah.
I mean, I would think so.
Yeah, it's oddly
But-
enough. Yeah.
So yeah, I am
Okay.
span out across
All right.
throughout the entire play because I'm trying to discipline her and tell her don't go outside because you're gonna get hurt. And
Right. Now, both of you mentioned that one of your big motivators is helping some of the younger kids. So, Cody, I mean, do you find that some of these, the younger ones that maybe are doing this for the first time are kind of scared?
Yeah, I believe a lot of them are a bit nervous, just as we probably were our first time. It's
Right.
just, it's a little
Fear
bit.
of the unknown or whatever?
Yeah, regardless of the fear, as I've kind of already said, I agree that it's a big part that we need to help them and get them excited for it so that they can continue.
Very cool. And Ashlyn, when it comes to again the younger ones, I mean, I'm assuming that there's probably opportunities once in a while to kind of put your arm around some of the younger ones and say, hey, it's not, don't worry about it, just try this or do that. I mean, do you get into that kind of thing much?
oh yeah, well, backstage, we do get partnered up with a smaller group of kids, and that's just a good way of being hey, you're doing great, just remember, breathe, and you've already learned what you need to do, so as long as you remember that, you're going to do fantastic. And once you get more in the groove of it, then you can realize, hey, I got this, and it's just something fun. You don't have to worry about it.
Very cool, very cool. And we hope everyone will get out this Saturday night. Mark it down on your calendar right now. Cancel your roller derby event that you were going to go to or whatever, and get over to the Payson High School Saturday. Again, first performance is at 4 p.m. The second performance at 6:30 p.m. And it promises to be a bunch of fun. Again, you can get your tickets in advance at the Rim Country Regional Chamber of Commerce, or at the 260 Cafe, or at the bookstore at the high school, and or you can buy them at the door. But of course, you're going to be paying a little bit higher price there, but hey, the money's going to a great cause. And obviously, as we've already been able to just glean from this quick interview here, the difference that it makes in these kids' life, and the confidence. I mean, these kids are just exuding confidence, which is, whether you stay in theater or you don't, that's still going to pay dividends for you down the roads. Elizabeth, this has got to be a big motivator for you just to see kids like this.
It totally is.
I mean, I'm
Very
actually blown
rewarding.
away.
Yeah.
I mean, just back when I was in high school, just the fact that we showed up for class was a big deal. But anyway, and actually I did get a little involved in theater back in those days as well, and so I understand where you're coming from. But man, I tell you, it is amazing to see what this Missoula Children's Theater organization does. Again, they travel to every one of the 50 states and a few other countries, you said?
16.
16 other countries. And so this is, they're just wanting to share theater
Yep.
and everything that is learned from that with young people.
That's right.
What a beautiful mission. And if you want to find out more, you can go online. What was the web address for them again?
MCT Inc., I believe, .org.
Yeah, mctinc.org, mtcinc.org. And you can get a lot of different information there, not only on the Missoula Children's Theater, but also on the Missoula Community Theater too, which
Yes.
I'm assuming is kind of the same thing, but for older folks?
I haven't been.
Haven't been involved with that one.
I know they have a student
But-
program there, and they have a community theater, which would be adults.
Right, but they have a lot of information there about how this effort brings community together, and how you can bring it to your town if you're not here in Payson. We've been again, this is the 9th year in Payson.
9th year, we had to skip last year because of COVID. Oh, I want to tell you, if you do go on the website, be sure to check out the history of how this Missoula Children's Theater started, because it's a wonderful story.
Very interesting. And again,
Two originators.
that's all at mctinc.org, mtcinc.org, and get all the details there. Again, get your tickets for this Saturday night's or Saturday afternoon's performance. Again, 4 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. Get them ahead of time at the Rim Country Regional Chamber of Commerce, the 260 Cafe, and at the bookstore at the high school, or you can buy them at the door for a couple bucks more. Again, get out there and support a really worthwhile effort, the Missoula Children's Theater at the Payson High School Auditorium this Saturday. Elizabeth, Cody, and Ashlyn, thanks for coming down and being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. All right, we got to get you back to more of your favorite music. Have some tunes coming up from, let's see here, we got the Grateful Dead, also U2, Queen, Don Henley, and a whole bunch more. But first, a quick look at Rim Country weather. Just like that.
You guys are awesome!
You guys really
Oh
are.
my gosh!
Amazing kids.
So